It's your place for everything you need to know about Glendale. It's Glendale A to Z.
Hello and welcome to Glendale A to Z. I'm Julie Waters with Glendale 11. Find out the latest news from Glendale in just 5 minutes. Today, we're talking with the Glendale Fire Chief about proposed budget cuts to the fire department should a temporary sales tax increase go away. The increase was approved by the City Council in June. It sunsets in 5 years. It is a total increase of 35 cents more on a $50 purchase. But should that temporary sales tax go away, there are numerous services and programs throughout the entire city that could be eliminated or reduced. One impacted area is the fire department. Joining us is Chief Mark Burdick. Hi, Chief. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Julie. Thank you.
On the proposed list for the fire department, it's about $4 million in cuts and 36 positions. Some of those positions are firefighters. Never before in the history of the city, I understand, have we had to put firefighters at risk of losing their jobs.
No, first time in the history of Glendale since we've been a paid department, which is about 1957. We have never laid off a firefighter, so this is sort of precedent setting for us.
So if firefighters in Glendale get laid off, what is the impact to residents?
The greatest impact they're going to see is that we are already a very busy department. As the economy was reduced, we haven't kept up with staffing levels that we need today, so any reduction is going to have the impact of longer response times. We won't be able to staff our trucks. That means we're going to have to shut trucks down basically, and we would do that on a rotational basis throughout the city, so it's just kind of playing the odds. If an event occurs where we have a truck shut down, somebody from a farther location has to respond, so it creates a longer response time.
And the term you use is response times, and what that means is how long it takes those firefighters to get to that house where someone has just had a heart attack, or where the house is on fire, or where there's a drowning. And that's really what it gets down to in your business, is response times and how fast your guys can get there.
I think the public, we've talked about response times for many, many years. I think what they need to understand is the police and fire both are the safety net of a community, and when we talk about response times, we are in the time business. When something happens, when you're being attacked by someone, when you're in an accident, if you have a heart attack, as you said, a drowning, the clock's ticking. Right. Brain death occurs in about 6 minutes. So we need to get there to begin to do our life-saving measures or fight the fire, or whatever the case may be, before that critical time passes.
Right. On the list of proposed reductions, there are some options that could impact businesses and business owners here in Glendale as well. Tell me about those.
Well, some of the reductions we have is in the fire marshal's office, and that's to reduce fire inspectors. Again, there's about 6,000 businesses in Glendale. Half of those are inspected annually, especially the high-risk occupancies. Every time we see a reduction in that, obviously we can't make the commitment to get those businesses inspected. And it's important for the public to understand, our inspections annually of these businesses is for their safety. We make sure businesses aren't blocking exits, aren't doing things, locking doors that are designed to be exit doors. There's a myriad of things that we look for fire safety, as well as, and what a lot of people don't realize, as well as firefighter safety. The things they do is at night, if the place is on fire, they look for, again, those type of conditions that would trap a firefighter and cause injury to the firefighter or the public. Any reduction in that staffing, again, changes our ability to meet inspections on a timely basis.
So it would be less service delivery for the inspectors to go out there and be getting as many inspections done as they normally do in a year.
Yes.
For example, okay. The crisis response team. This is a big unit within the fire department, and I know it has a massive amount of volunteers with it also, but it is proposed to be completely eliminated.
Yeah, and that's one that's near and dear to my heart because it's been in service for a decade, as long as I've been fire chief. In fact, I brought the program in to assist, again, the citizens in a myriad of ways. Crisis response after you have a tragic event, like a drowning or a heart attack or a shooting, a stabbing, anything where there's a sudden loss, or a fire, after a fire where their house is burned, they go, what do I do next? These folks come in and help them get back into the mode of what do they do next. They contact the insurance company, give them clothing, give them, we have agreements with hotels to put them up.
The Red Cross probably.
The Red Cross
like
link.
That, yeah.
But they also provide grief counseling. That's one of the biggest things. And they provide things like death notification. That's not a pleasant thing to have to do. As a firefighter, when I was out there on the street, we had to do those things. And we had to stay with the people to help calm them down. Now, with the crisis response, our firefighters and our police officers can get back in service.
Right, and so
they take over.
So when you were a firefighter back in the day, you had to stay, and then if there was another call, you couldn't go to that call because you were still helping these victims.
We could, but think about that you just suffered a drowning, and we say, we're very sorry, but we've got to go.
Okay.
Just a terrible way to treat people. And the key to the crisis response is we have 4 full-time employees. We have over 60 volunteers. Most of these, and again, Lynette Jelinek, our program manager, great job doing this. Most of these are tied to their degrees in social service, those type of things, psychology, and they have to volunteer 8 hours a week. The way they've got this set up, we have 24-hour day, 365-day year coverage from those 4 folks with 60 volunteers who contribute almost $700,000 in free labor to provide that. So it is very impactful.
And the whole thing could be eliminated.
Yes.
Okay. Chief, very quickly, community education. This is another area from your department that could be severely impacted. Fire Pals, I believe, they go out in the schools and educate. There's senior safety educators. They educate people from one end of the spectrum to the other, and they could be eliminated.
That's unfortunately when you see these types of fiscal challenges, one of the first things we eliminated, we hit fire prevention and we hit fire education, community education programs. And the sad thing about that is we should teach people how to avoid having an incident so that we don't have to respond.
Right.
So basically we're eliminating that first line of let's keep you from having that injury, and we have to fall back on the suppression side, which is when something bad happens, we're going to go help. We should always be trying to stop the incident from ever occurring, and that's through car seat installations, juvenile fire setter programs that stop kids from playing with matches, all those kind of programs that we interact with the community. We just don't have the capacity that the folks that are providing those services will be gone.
Okay. Glendale Fire Chief Mark Burdick, thanks for your time today here on Glendale A to Z. For more information on the proposed cuts that could be happening here to the city of Glendale, or for more details on the temporary sales tax increase, visit the city website. It's glendaleaz.com. Click on the Know the Facts page. For Glendale A to Z, I'm Julie Waters. I'll see you next time.